All right, how's everybody doing today? This is your boy Steve at Vast Motorsports. Today I'm working on my '08 Victory Jackpot. It's fairly new to me. I just picked it up a couple weeks ago. Steel deal. Thank you again, Jonathan, that owned the bike. And anyway, I am going to change the rear tire because when I was replacing the brake light the other day, I seen a screw in the tire. I'm sure I got it probably coming right in and out of the shop here, unfortunately. And I noticed it's a 2015 tire, so I'm not going to try to patch plug it or anything. I just bought a new tire. And I just want to go over a few things with you, so stick around, check out the video. So this is the monster tire that goes on the back. It's a 250 4018 Dunlop. And I'll tell you, I'm a poor guy. I've always been that way. I've owned a lot of bikes in my life. And I've seen bikes with tires like this, custom choppers and stuff like that. You know, I know nowadays, later 2000s and up, there's a lot of factory bikes come with them. But again, I was never looking at stuff like that. I can't afford anything like that. I never thought I'd own a bike that would have a tire like that. So then we get into the Jackpot. Boy, I'm in love with this bike, y'all. I still have my Harley. This is the one that I brought back from the flood and restored it. I got a whole video on that if you want to check it out. But the Jackpot here, I love that fat rim. Oh man, it's 8.5-inch wide wheel. I just never thought I'd own anything like this. I think the fender's probably a foot wide. You can't really tell on camera. It's wide. So anyway, what we're doing is I'm about to break the nut loose here so I can take the axle out. And all bikes have these little lines here, and there's one on the swing arm. It's got it on both sides. That's your adjustment. So you can adjust it out, belt, chain, whatever it is, and get the wheel straight alignment wise in the frame of the bike. So as long as you don't have any damage anywhere on your frame of your bike, never been in a wreck or tweaked or anything, as long as you line these up side to side, it should be really, really close. Now I noticed they have that side off a little. Now I took a piece of tape because I don't want to forget. I could look at it right here and I could see the second line on this is, you know, just in front of the swing arm mark. But I don't want to get into changing the tire and forget when I come back. So today I stuck a little piece of tape with the line matching this down here. And I just put a number 2. That way I know it's the second line. And I come over here and I did the same thing. Now on this side, like I said, they have it a little farther ahead of the swing arm mark. But that's going to get you in your general area. Really, with a belt, you want to take and spin the tire and try to get the belt where it's riding in the middle. You don't want it scrubbing up against one side or the other. And it does appear to be up against this side. I don't know that you can exactly help it. It's going to probably run over to one side or the other, but you don't want it just scrubbing up against it really bad. Now the other thing is, with it being a belt drive, I'm gonna have to see if I can find some specs on the Victory. I know the Harley, they actually sell a tensioner tool. You're supposed to stick it under here, check the belt tension, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this one is extremely tight. I can't hardly get any movement, and as the bike warms up, that could get even worse. So I'm going to do a little research on that before I actually retighten the belt. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and pop this off. Now there's a couple videos. I think it was the Witch Doctors. They were big into Victories. I watched a video just for the hell of it while I was sitting around the other night. Before I got my tire, I was waiting on it. I said, let me just watch a video. Make sure there's nothing going to surprise me. It's just like any other bike. But anyway, what he was doing is he would get the ratchet up here and loosen the adjuster here and count it. He'd do 1/2, 1, 1.5, 2, and so forth. And then that way, when he puts it all back together, he would go back the same amount. Now I don't know, he only went 2. I don't know how the axle would come out too easy with the belt still that tight, so I'm going to do it 3. It's 2.5, 3. I can go to the other side and do it, but like I said, instead of doing like that, if you just mark this first, you just put it right back where it was. Alright, unfortunately, some bikes, the axle's going to hit the exhaust. So now I'm going to have to undo at least a bracket. Probably going to have to unloose them from the daggone head because you don't want to break the studs or anything. And I don't think it's going to give me enough flex anyway. Now when I go back on with this, I may stick it back in through the other side. I don't think it's that important which direction the actual axle's going. That way I'd have the nut on this side where if I have to change it in the future, I don't have to go through all that crap with the exhaust. Actually, instead of taking the exhaust apart, I think what I'm going to do is loosen these adjusters all the way and see if I can get I'm going to push the wheel forward and see if I can get the belt off the sprocket and then slide the wheel all the way back to the back of this slot and see if it'll give me just enough room to pass because it's so close. So again, that's why you want to just mark this instead of trying to count how many turns you turn that. Boy, it sure is going to be close. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Put the wheel at a little bit of an angle like this. Now I got to try to catch the spacers and stuff. I think I'm going to use my other little jack. Because the caliper and stuff's going to try to fall on the other side, the bracket. Boy, it is close. Tell you what, I think it's going to work. Going to put a little pressure on it. I'm going to put some tape so I don't scratch it up or anything. Now the axle does have a little centering hole in the middle of it so I can stick something and hit it and it won't hurt the threads, won't mushroom the end. Okay, so I'm going to lay my axle down here on the paper so it don't get all dirty. Okay, now I'm going to try to put the belt, I'm not sure, maybe on the outside. Okay. Now I'm going to let the wheel down some. And I'm going to watch, try to catch these spacers. There we go. Oh, there went one of them. Okay. The big spacer's on this right side. I'm going to leave it over here. Grabbed out the little one from the other side, lay it right down there. Now I slid my caliper off the swing arm, so now the wheel is ready to drop. This is the whole reason I'm even doing all this crap. Because that screw, as you can see, the tire has plenty of tread. Freaking looks brand new. It was riding fine, everything was good, but when I checked the date on it, it is a 2015. This is 2024. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the new one. I don't want to chance it. I could probably ride and not worry about it, but it's my new to me bike. I got it so cheap. I can, the hell with it, I'll justify spending $300 on a tire. Now I went ahead and took the sprocket off. Now's a good time to reach in and feel your bearings too. But you may not have to take the rotor off. I took this off because I'm putting it on the machine. The arms are going to have to come in this way. Plus, I'm going to go buy a power ball. I want to polish these wheels up real good, especially while it's off. Just be on the safe side. I'm going to hit the tops of these in case it slides or anything. I don't want it hitting them spokes. Alright, so it's, you know, it would be a lot easier if I had a machine that had the side breaker and I could just bust the beads down on the floor. But this one's a little different. It's got these wheels, get the top and bottom, but with the rim being so high, not a car wheel, it's not lining up, so I'm going to have to do the bottom first and then move this and do the top. So let's try the bottom. Okay. All right. Well, that worked. All right, now we want to make sure we put it on the right direction because it is directional. So this is on the left side of the bike. It's going this way. Okay. Alright, so I have her successfully mounted, thankfully, and inflated. Now I'm going to roll it outside and go ahead and wash up the rim. Thank God I didn't do any damage anywhere. So I guess the old tire machine will work for doing bike wheels when they're nice and fat like this. When I come around to do the front, I'm not sure what I'm going to have to do there. I may have to do it with the tire spoons. But at least I was able to do this one. And that's the one I was worried about anyway with that really low pro sidewall. Alright, so I had her set up to balance her. So now I'm going to take it off. Tell you what, this is a very heavy wheel. I am shocked. I didn't think a bike wheel would be that heavy, but she's a biggin'. Okay, see if I can get her up in there now. Put my spacer in that side. Put my spacer in this side. You can always see the little ridge on the way it was in. Tried to clean it up, but you can still see the ridge. I'm going to pop that in there. Okay. I took a screwdriver and stuck it in the pads and spread the caliper open. Reset the pistons back in. So it'll be easier to slide over the rotor. Take and set my brake set up on there. Not being easy. Now see, it's probably another reason I'm thinking of sticking the axle on the other side. It's all lined up. This side is not. this through. I don't know, I'll admit, I should have just stuck the son of a bitch through the other way. It would have been easier, but I want it to be back factory. So anyway, we're going to get the axle to spin like that. It's slotted for this. So I'm going to drop this on. Finish tapping it in the rest of the way. Okay. Then over here I got this one and my nut. Go ahead and get these back on. So now I'm going to push it forward. Well, I can let it down off the jack now. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now we got the belt on. I can start pulling my adjusters back. We're way off now because I wanted that belt off the sprocket. Now I'm getting close to the second. I'm in between the second and third. I'll leave it there. Get this side pulled in. We're in about the middle of that side. Oh, we're still way off. I still got another notch to go. Now we're at about a half. Let me check the tension here. I do believe it was too tight before. I know the wheel didn't spin that nice and easy. And I had no deflection at all in the belt the way it was. So, okay, so I got my lines. I didn't go by what I had on the tape. I don't want it back where it was before. I don't know who did the tire the last time, who might have done an adjustment last time. That belt was rock solid hard. It was really difficult to even spin the wheel. So right now I got a little play in it, and I have, with the original dots on the swing arm, I have the third line on the adjuster plate is right at the beginning of that line on the swing arm, and I have the other side matching. And my belt looks like it's trailing good like that. No squeaking or nothing rubbing. Yeah, I'm leaving it like that, folks. So I'm just going to tighten down the axle nut. She should be ready for a ride. All right. I didn't mean to bore you too much, but I just figured maybe somebody could learn a little something on it, get a little enjoyment out of it. But anyway, if you like what you've seen, give me a thumbs up, please. And like I always say, please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get her to grow. I want to thank everybody that tunes in all the time, and I greatly appreciate it. All right, let's go ride this bad boy. We're about to take it down to Florida, and me and Lee are going to do some riding. So y'all have a blessed evening. We out.